So exactly along those lines, Nina, can you tell us about your journey into women's health? So how did you end up in pelvic and women's health physical therapy? And what inspired you to pregnancy and postpartum period? Tell us a bit, how did you end up in Bergen? A bit about your journey.
Yeah, I'm from Norway and I live in Bergen, which is the second largest city in Norway. And I wanted to do studies in political science. So I went to Oslo and I started my degree in political science. And one of my flatmates, she did the same course as me, but she wanted to change over and do physiotherapy. So she applied physiotherapy in both the UK and in Norway. And she got a place both in Manchester in UK and in Bergen. And then I wanted to go to travel abroad, and my parents thought that that was a bit of waste of time. So then I thought, okay, if my friend accepts her place in Bergen, then there is one place in Manchester in the UK that is not taken. So I phoned the school and asked if I could have her place. And I hadn't applied or anything. And I have never sort of thought about what would happen if I became a physiotherapist. I didn't really know what a physiotherapist was. So, and they said, yes, come and have an interview. And 2 weeks later, I started physiotherapy in Manchester in the UK. So that's where my journey started.
Wow.
I had that you are supposed to have like an orthopedic placement and pediatric placement and a neurology placement. I never had an orthopedic placement. I had a women's health placement instead with a very inspiring, what do you call it when you like a tutor and supervisor.
Yes.
And she introduced me to the pelvic health area and women's health. And that was it. So I came back and I started working within neurology and rheumatology, but I soon moved over to women's health and pregnancy related exercise and pelvic girdle pain. And when you start off with pelvic girdle pain and women's health, the road is rather short to the pelvic floor, and it's also sort of a part of the whole area. So then I did some courses
Wow.
in both Norway and the UK on the pelvic floor and women's health. And of course, we've got like people like Kari Bø, who has been an inspiration the whole way. And we've got quite a few really good research in women's health and physiotherapy in Norway. So to have that inspiration and to be
Yeah.
able to attend courses and seminars with these researchers was a very inspiring. So that was my
Yeah.
journey into the women's health.
That's hilarious. I didn't know that, Nina. We have a personal connection, but I had no idea. I think it's hilarious. And now I'm thinking about my oldest daughter, Maria, that now she's planning on her journey to the university, and she has some clues, but not very strong clues. And I was
Yeah,
just last night telling her, don't worry, you have time. And if
yeah,
you go
yeah.
to a way and decide maybe it's not the way, you change, and that's what's life. So that's hilarious. I didn't know political science was
And you
a
also
first choice.
And you always learn. It's never a waste
Yes,
of time. You always learn something, no matter what you do, I
yes,
think. And
yes,
and doing the political science, and I was, still are, or still is very into like women's health politics and policies and how on a more not
yes, yes,
just individual levels, but also on the systemic, like how what kind of
yes,
women's health advocacy and policies there are out there and how we can change the whole system so that women can improve their own health is really important.
yes,
That's why I also got into the women's health group in the Norwegian Physiotherapy Association. And I was a
yes.
leader of that group for 7 years. So I'm really
Wow.
in polit- polit- political aspect of women's health as well.
Yes,
So I think it's never a waste. Just start something, and
yes,
then you can change it along the way. That's no
yes.
problem.
You will figure it out. I myself, I was convinced by a biology teacher in high school that biology could be a way, and she used to say to me, you have a profile of a researcher because you know how to make questions, definitely.
Yeah.
And so I did, and I went to the biology course, and then I miss the human part of it, so I changed to physical therapy. But
Yeah.
in that year, I met some of the most inspiring women, and we are best friends until today. So it's so funny to see. It's true. It's never a waste. And in the end, I'm a researcher. So my biology teacher, she was right. So political science and biology, yes.